So I really like lying to people, especially kids if it will crush their dreams later, but I will not lie to myself. And the Togashi 2, which I consider to be Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter, are the greatest flawed masterpieces of maybe fiction. And that is perfectly fine. And what do I mean by flawed? Well, let's start with Hunter x Hunter, the one that probably more people have seen. So, what's wrong with it? Characters, world building, music? No. Really, honestly, nothing about it. I love Hunter x Hunter. It's one of the greatest shows ever watched, and I don't regret ever seeing it. What do I mean by flawed? This show will probably never end. We will never have a true wrap-up to any of the characters' stories ever. Gon, Killua, Hisoka, Kurapika, they will probably never have true endings. And yeah, that is a flaw. You want to see someone's story wrapped up the right way. It is arguable if Gon had his story already wrapped up, but it feels like a weird and abrupt end to his story. Yeah, he got to find his dad, but I know that wouldn't be the end of the story for me. Mine hasn't come home yet, but I'll find him eventually. It just feels like it's not truly finished for anybody in this story. Now, how Yu Yu Hakusho ended is almost kind of exactly opposite to Hunter x Hunter. It had a definitive ending in the manga. It was not a good ending. This is what happened to it. So, we get another tournament, right? The Demon World tournament. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it was trash. Very trash. Because I'm gonna say this right now, the Dark World tournament is the greatest tournament in anime, period. There is no one that compares. You always got a tournament arc. Dark World tournament is #1. The one in the manga that ended it for Yu Yu Hakusho, no, not good at all. And it's not Togashi's fault. He wanted to end the series earlier. However, due to Yu Yu Hakusho's popularity, was pressured into keeping it going. And you can always tell when they're not fully into their work, when they don't actually want to continue it. It is evident that Yu Yu Hakusho should have ended earlier and that it just kept going for no reason. If you want to check out the Demon World tournament, go ahead. I doubt you'll be satisfied. And I do not blame the author. I don't really blame anybody. That's an example of should have ended a lot sooner. I'm gonna say this though, while there are some problems with both, they are still masterpieces and their flaws are perfectly fine. Now, of course, there are fans out there that want Hunter x Hunter to come back. Let's face it, it probably will never come back. Togashi is unfortunately having health problems, and his health comes first and foremost before his works. And the anime had a perfectly fine anime ending. Of course, there's still stuff out there that needs to be resolved. You know what? Who cares? Probably won't ever. We have some other stuff in the manga, of course. Hisoka versus Crollo, Kurapika versus the spiders, blah blah blah, right? And I hope that someday we do see Hisoka and Crollo animated. I was kind of hoping maybe for an OVA. But still, Hunter x Hunter is near perfect. It doesn't have a single flaw. Now, if this kept going to a point where he got to where it could never really feel right if he didn't end it, because right now we're kind of in a weird in-between spot in the manga. If it got to a point where it just needed to continue, it wouldn't be right to just leave it there. Exactly. I think Hunter x Hunter is perfectly fine the way it is. It's going to be always flawed because it doesn't have a definitive ending. It is still very much a masterpiece. Now let me just say this about Yu Yu Hakusho. Now this I consider to be the greatest shounen of all time. And the final arc in the manga I don't think should be held against Togashi. Because let's be honest, if it had kept going and going, it would have turned into Dragon Ball Z. Because that seems to be the flaw with all the shonens that keep going. They keep going and the power just keeps going up to where it's like, man, is Goku coming out anytime soon? Just look at Naruto. That should have ended a while ago. It's still going and has become worse and worse as it keeps going. I'm still a fan, but goodness, just stop it. Somebody go get life support and cut it off right now. If Yu Yu Hakusho had kept going, it would have turned into some bullshit. And the last arc, you can tell Togashi's like, this needs to stop right here, right now. Because how it ended in anime, definitive and fine, perfect. Manga, you can tell, this wasn't it. So in conclusion of this rant, Togashi's the greatest manga author of all time. The two series that are masterpieces and their flaws are their endings. and the fact that one will never end and the other had a meh ending and the author didn't really want to continue it. It's better than your favorite show. I'm gonna just say that. I'm gonna say that to be a hater. But these are masterpieces and anybody should watch them. One is really old. The animation holds up in 2022. And the other, of course, got the 2011 reboot and is still legendary. Don't watch the 1999 version of it though. You will be thoroughly disappointed.